sending video now. Okay. There it goes. Okay. There we go. I think I'm finally on. There it goes. Okay. Thanks a lot, YouTube. YouTube is a-hole. YouTube is absolutely a-hole tonight. Now, let's see if I got a stream going here. Yes, I'm finally live. Yeah, I don't care about that. Just need the link. Thank you very much. And now, get over here. All right. I am finally live where we do it live. Okay. So at least Twitter knows what's going on here. Okay. Shouldn't have clicked on that. All right. I guess I'm just gonna have to stay here live. Here, I'll send the link around, I guess. Go to Minds. While we wait for people, Joan. Just say, I'm live. There we go. Just drop it in all the usual places. There we go. We got Gab. Okay. Drop it there. We've got Getter. Drop it here. I wouldn't have to do this if YouTube worked properly. God, each week now it's getting worse and worse. I don't have the normal buttons. Normally I just hit a few buttons. Alex Ogle back again. F, I joined live stream and I have to wait intermittent time before I can chat. Yeah, I'm very sorry, Alex. I'm having all sorts of problems with YouTube the last couple of weeks. I don't know what happened. I think they changed the controls on me, and I haven't quite figured out how to do it. Plus, I was running very late and just got here, I thought, just barely on time. So now I'm just dropping a link out to let people know I'm on. Jesus. Not that YouTube will help me. YouTube apparently doesn't want my stream at all. Anyhow, welcome to the live stream where we do it live. And Alex, no Viva Frey stream tonight, so I can join you earlier. Oh, okay. Is that your stream or is that someone else's stream? Viva Free. Viva Free. Glad to have you. Anyhow, what's going on? Well, let me do you a little pregame. Maybe let some people figure out that I'm back up. So I did 3 events this weekend. I went to the Burlington County Book Fest at the Burlington County Library. That went pretty well. A little slow in the morning. I was worried because an hour went by and I only sold 1 book, which is unusual for me because my books are only $9. So I was like, oh man, am I only going to sell like 5 books today? That would stink. But then it picked up later. It was fine. Good crowd out there. Another writer who also did Jersey Devil stories. Alex, Canadian litigator turned legal vlogger. He has an amusing law cast. You might turn your mic up just a bit. Oh, righty? See if I can do that. I'm going to just move it because... How's that? Is that better? I'll talk louder, perhaps. Anyway! But that should be better, I think. I don't want to mess with it too much because... I don't know. Better. Okay, good. think I have a black thumb when it comes to electronics. Anyhow, so I went to that, had a good time. Then on the same day, I got my car and I drove down to Greenwich, New Jersey, which is way at the bottom of the state. Actually, I could probably show you exactly where it is. Talk into the mic like you're delivering woke scripts to the camera. Let's see. I went to Cumberland County Library. No, it was the Cumberland County Historical Society. And it was here. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. It was here all the way out on Ye Great Street, a very old street in Greenwich, New Jersey. And you can see it's all the way down here at the bottom of the state in the middle of nowhere. It's like south of Bridgeton. And Bridgeton, not in great shape. It's sort of a wreck town. And so you can see it's like all the way down here. There's Philadelphia. Like I'm up here closer to Philly, but it's like all the way out here in the sticks. I mean, there are farms, like real farms out here. If I zoom in and put on the you can see it's all farms in New Jersey. I know you don't think of New Jersey as farm country, but in South Jersey there's a lot of farms. Lots of farms. You can see all the farms there. And so it's very rural. And I was like, Greenwich, not Greenwich, no. Greenwich, without the T. And they actually have, I found out, a mascot, a local mascot that is a witch. And I was very excited when I saw it. I was like, oh, Greenwich, this must have been named Greenwich after a witch. And there'll be a whole story here I could do for the Pineys. And I asked them, and they were like, no. The firemen made it up because they thought it would be a cool logo. Alex, they farm mafia hit corpses. No, that would be at the lake house in Vineland, which is over here. Here's Vineland. I believe that's Vineland. Don't see the name Vineland popping up. I think that's Vineland. Or is this Bridgeton? No, I think that's Vineland. No, that's Bridgeton. So Vineland, where's Vineland? Oh, here's Vineland, over here. So if you go to the lake house, is that it? I don't think that's it. No, that's the wrong one. Lake house. Vineland. There we go. That's the lake house. I was just there recently. JC, do that story anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a pretty funny story, right? That turns out there is a witch, but the firemen didn't know that. But this is the lake house in Vineland, which I went to the other night. And this was, let's see if I got a shot of it here. Let's see if I got a picture. I should have an outside picture somewhere. Yeah, here it is. It's a very old building. Can't really tell from this. Maybe more from that. It's now like a restaurant / banquet hall. Oh wait, here's a better picture. This one right here. So you can see it's pretty nice. But there was actually 3 or 4 more stories on top of this that they cut off. So it was a huge place at one point. It was a big hotel out in the middle of the woods. And it was a speakeasy, they say a brothel, and it was part of Al Capone's holdings. Or at the very least, he used it. And so they say they dropped mafia guys in the lake out back in the 20s, during the bootlegging days. And, you know, Al had interest in Chicago, New York, and Atlantic City, because Atlantic City was very corrupt, and they had the big meeting in Atlantic City where all the mafia guys got together to talk about how they would run their criminal enterprises across the country, and they would settle disputes. And then one of the things they did was they told Al he had to go to jail because there was too much heat on him. Alex, Little Joan, Callum would be so pleased. Yes, he would. Yeah, the Greenwich doesn't exist, but I went to Greenwich, and surprisingly, the Historical Society really went all out. They really went the extra mile. So they had a cake with a Jersey Devil on it, which was cool, and then they had a bunch of food, and then a bunch of people showed up because it was also a fundraiser for the Historical Society, and they paid me, and I sold a bunch of books, like way more books than I thought I would sell. So that was great. And then today I went to the Hamilton Book Trader, and I sold books there. So it was good weekend. JEC, do a Scooby-Doo thing where someone is dressing up like the witch to attract tourists, and then they get attacked by zombie mobsters coming out of the lake. It's not a bad pitch, but I'll think about it. It's not a bad pitch at all. Not a bad pitch. Very much in my wheelhouse. Alex, well done with your book sales. Yes, thank you. I was very excited. So I sold I sold probably twice as many books that I normally sell. I don't want to say the number, but it was good. The only downside is now I have to order more books, and I'm probably going to run out of books. What do I got going this week? Okay, nothing until Thursday, so that gives me some time to get them, but oh boy, I got a bunch of events next week. I better order them tonight. Holy cow. So, Sam Rogers is here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sam. It's not morning here, but wherever you are. I'm at, it's 7:17 in the evening. What time is it where you are, Sam? Alex, I second that story idea, but make the zombies characters from your Wokistan novel. Perhaps the trans zombies. JEC, I did a sale at a comic shop yesterday. I did okay. They fed me. That's pretty good. Any signing where they feed you is a win, because you got to figure that would cost you money, and they're paying for it. So at least, if you made money, you'd probably be buying food anyway. So it's like you made an extra sale or two. JC, traded some of my books for the store for some books I've been wanting. Well, that's a thing comic book guys do. I don't recommend you do that, but if that's what you want and it makes you happy, there you go. I would gladly trade some of my books for food, I guess. So, whatever you need. These days, I'm just all about survival. So, little doggy needed a new collar, right? You got a new flea collar, and we found a different brand, and it smells nice. The other one didn't smell at all, but this one makes Joan smell nice for some reason. I'm a little worried, and I'm happy at the same time because it was cheaper. Alex, at JEC, what food did you have? What books did you want? Sam Rogers, it's 7:18 in the morning in Australia, Perth time. Oh, Australia. Top of the morning to you on the Barbie. That's not a knife. That's a knife. I'm just goofing around. But that's cool. Good morning. Down under. Alex, at me, which books did you sell? Pineys, Wokistan. All the Pineys. The book fest, I did put out my books. I didn't get any interest really on the Wokistan stuff. But I didn't get anybody having a freak out over it, so that was good. I did sell one of my graphic novels, Lester Crenshaw is Dead. But mostly I sold the Pineys. I sold Pineys everywhere these days. JC, it was a bar comic shop. It was bar food. They're nice hardcover books. Together they'd be $100 to purchase. Oh, that's a pretty good deal. At Alex at Sam, up before the spiders. JC, Moonray by Brandon Graham and Shaolin Cowboy by Jeff Darrow. That one I know. That one I know is kind of cool. Um, so yeah, it was a good weekend, and then I topped it off, and I just got back from dinner with the fam, early Italian dinner, and just made it here at 7, only to have YouTube screw me and make me late for my own live stream. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Thanks a lot. So I still don't know what's wrong with the live stream. I thought like last week I did something wrong, and I figured, this week it'll just work. Nope. This week it was even worse. I couldn't get the damn stream to work. I don't know what's happening with... I think they must have changed the controls or something. Sam, Alex, the spiders mostly come out at night and only eat dogs. Oh no. Joan, spiders eat dogs. We'll keep you out of Australia, okay? You're very tiny. Maybe they'll leave you alone. JC, yeah, it's the latest miniseries Darrow did during lockdowns. It's a beautiful, oversized hardcover. Really happy with it. Okay, cool. Cool. Alex, I managed to watch your first stream attempt, but couldn't tell you it was working because of the blimmin' chat delay. Yeah, I don't know. I think they screwed something up. I don't know what's going on. They changed it. They do that all the time, and they don't tell you. Or they send you an email, one of those emails you never check, because you need a Gmail account to have a YouTube. And I've got like separate email accounts because I've got a couple of different channels, and it just goes into the email pile, and I never look at it. So, I mean, I guess that's on me. But they insist on Gmail, which I kind of don't use. So, anyhow, we are talking about important things today. There's been some very important developments in the world today. But we're going to talk about movies. So first, Dead Souls is here. Hi. Welcome, Dead Souls. We're going to talk about The Numbers. And, of course, the movie that opened up. And I want to know if anybody here on the stream saw it. Civil War. Civil War, ladies and gentlemen. Civil War did $25 million, which isn't bad, but they're touting it like some kind of victory. I don't see that as much of a victory. This movie cost $50 million. And to make only $25 million, well, that's not money. That's not money in the first week. So, next week, if they're lucky, it'll crack $12 million. Which puts it at 37. Now you add the rest of the week's receipts, you're probably at 40, I'll say 43-ish. Alex, magical Black in Spanish has fallen by the wayside. Yes, it went out of theaters completely. The third week, if it does say another 6 million, that would put you roughly at about 49 million. And it's pretty much over by the fourth week. So this movie will break even on its production, but they advertised it. And you know the formula. They say, well, you got to double the budget to say, well, that's okay. It did $50 million and made its budget back, but then it's the advertising that costs another $50 million. Or not. I mean, I don't think they spent that much advertising this movie, but maybe. I mean, they're really pushing hard for it. So, I don't know. I don't watch TV anymore, so it's hard to get a read, but let's say they only spent $25 million. So they need to make $75 million to break even. I think they are going to fall short on that. I think that's a safe bet. JC, never even heard about this movie until yesterday on the way to the store, LOL. Right, yeah, everybody's talking about like it's the greatest movie ever, and I think it's absolute propaganda. Alex Ogle, I don't know what to make of Civil War. Reviews from sources I trust are generally positive, but I don't trust it after watching the clumsy mess that was The Boys Season 3. Yeah, when you get burned like that on a show like The Boys, I mean, The Boys should not have been a show that people got burned on. Like, The Boys should have just, like, been crazy and more crazy and politically incorrect and driven. They should have driven that show right off a cliff, if anything. That's the only reason that show should be off the air, because it's too outrageous, because it was too edgy, and too, like, people should have been complaining about that show. That no one complained about The Boys immediately set off a red flag for me. Now, the newest show, to go off on a tangent away from movies for a moment, is Fallout, which I did review the first episode. And it's okay-ish, but it's not great. But people are raving about it, I think, because, I mean, they say it's not woke. I think it kind of is. I think they're just being more subtle about it. But my main problem is it just doesn't fit the game. Alex, I have been enjoying the analysis of videos of YouTuber The Barking Years. He is what you Americans would say, based as F. I have to check that person out. But Fallout, like, has some regular sort of problems. So the Raiders in the Fallout game were always very straightforward with their strategies. They're just ruthless and evil, and they kill people and enslave them, and that's it. That's all they do. They're not very smart. They're not very strategic. The Vault Dwellers tended to be pretty naive. That much is kind of in the show, but, you know, it implies that the Vault Dwellers in this TV series had some connections with the outside because they knew about Raiders at all. And the Raiders kind of take them for chumps and easily run them over, in my view. No one really acts like a smart person in that show. Walter Goggins is great. I would watch a whole show just based around his character. I think if they had just stuck with Walter Goggins and the girl being his sidekick, I think that could have been a decent show. But then they add a third character, Maximus, and he's not a bad character. It's just, he's a kind of necessary. It's kind of like too much, especially for a first episode, even though it's an hour. On top of the fact that they don't explain the world all that much. They kind of just, they kind of just let you figure it out. I think they should have explained more. I don't think normies will really get that show, but it's not for normies anyway. Alex, who is making Fallout? What can we expect from their previous wipes of the toilet paper? Well, Amazon. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Amazon at all after the Rings of Power fiasco. Now, Reacher's a pretty good show. At least the first season was really good. The second season's kind of okay. Although the lead actor from Reacher just lost his damn mind this week for some reason. But so I wasn't super confident going into it. And I'm not super confident they can sustain what good there is in the show. I kind of think they're going to get caught up in a bunch of stupid melodrama that's not going to be the game. And they might as well just go full bore into the game, because I think only gamers will understand the damn show. So why even try to make it a real series if you're going to do that? But if you're going to make it a good story, people are giving it too much credit, I think, at this point. But we'll see. I haven't seen past the first episode. They say it's better and a pretty good season, but I have my doubts. Sam Rogers. I enjoyed Fallout, but there is some pro-communism in there. Didn't think it was work. Didn't think it was work or would work. I never played the game. 7 out of 10. Oh, interesting. Never played the game. Um, yeah, the thing about the game is the only communism in it was, um, you know, that the hyper America that eventually started a nuclear war with China hated commies. So it was like, it was like that retro 1950s future science fiction with atomic cars and everything else and robots, and then it gets nuked. And then, the remnants come out, and there's still a lot of anti communism. And, it's not about the game itself, doesn't really make any statements about communism other than kill the commies. there's a really funny scene where you activate this giant robot sentinel and it just starts killing everything. Well, it starts killing the enemies, not you, and it goes after the commies, and it's pretty funny. I think it's called Liberty One or the Sentinel or something, the Liberty Sentinel. But the game's awesome. I mean, up to a point. Well, what is it? The second one's good. The third one has a lot of glitches in it, but it is good. And then the fourth one's really good, and a bunch of extensions. And then Fallout 76, not so great, I hear. Sam Rogers, didn't think it was woke. Sorry, using speech to text. Oh, okay. JC, do you really need to say anything else about commies? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't think it was like super woke. I just thought, girl in the lead. I figure like they're going forward with that. They're going to make her girl boss. Now, it wasn't very girl bossy in the show, but a little bit. But the main message I took away from it, it was a symbolic assassination of marriage. So, that to me is a very woke messaging, like slipped underneath, and they immediately got away from that and send Lucy out into the field to, I assume, boss around everybody in the radioactive wasteland. So, but Civil War, speaking of commies, seems like a lot of propaganda to me. The heroes are journalists, so that doesn't scan at all. And it's all about, it's basically a wet dream for liberals who want to see Trump die, is what it is. Because they basically travel across country to Washington to witness the overthrow of evil fascist president who somehow cobbled together a very bizarre federation versus California and Texas team up, if you can imagine that. Alex, quote from the future, heroes are never journalists. Yeah. I mean, that's the main problem with it, besides the fact it's not very realistic. I've read one review saying that it goes out of its way to be very apolitical, but then another review that says, oh no, this isn't apolitical at all. JC, the heroes are journalists, so it's science fiction? Yes. Yes, very much science fiction. They might as well have put Kirsten Dunst's brain in a jar and paraded it around. That's how much science fiction it is. Yeah, it looks terrible. It looks like every person who's male and white is a villain, and everybody else is like, oh, how did this happen? And then, looking into the camera and whispering, white supremacy is probably the answer. Alex Ogle, science fantasy. Yeah, if that. So I don't expect this. I expect this movie to drop more than 50% next week, which would be funny if it drops like this 70, 80%. It'd be great. Just because I just don't like it. I didn't like the trailer. I don't like political movies that aren't honest. I don't like movies that are dishonest. Excuse me. I feel like it's a very dishonest movie. Oh, excuse me. In the 70s, I would say the movies, when they started to get political, felt more honest. They, like for instance, if you look at a movie like Serpico, which I think was based on a book, it felt honest. And, yeah, I think it was based on a book because it's based on a real guy. And it's about corruption in New York and the police department there. And it worked. It totally worked, and you feel like, okay, this is terrible. But, Serpico went on to fight the corruption in New York City Police Department. Alex, dear oh dear, did your book sales give you wind? Yes, they did. Sam Rogers, the heroes are journalists. You mean the propagandas, right? Yes. Yep. The propagandists are the heroes in the movie. Right, Joan? Oh, you're so sweet. So yeah, it's just dishonest, the whole movie. If you're going to make a dishonest movie, like you could do that kind of movie with, say, Fallout. Because then you could say, well, it takes place in an alternate historical world, right? And so you don't have to adhere to history, and then you could just sort of judge it on its own merits in terms of a story. When you try to do something like Civil War, and you try to imply like, well, this is one way it could shake out, and it's just so off the wall, woke-tarded, yeah, I don't think it can work. I mean, Texas and Florida are not going to team up. No, it's Texas and California. That is not going to happen. Not in our lifetimes. Not right now. Texas, if anything, would go by itself. It used to be its own country. They kind of think they still are. They kind of wish they still were. Right these days, anyway. So, they're protecting their own damn border. The U.S. government isn't doing it. California, the gates are wide open. Gavin Newsom. I mean, can you imagine Gavin Newsom teaming up with anybody? I don't even think the guys in the blue states would team up with Gavin. Gavin, I have poop on the streets of San Francisco. Newsom. They just wouldn't. They'd just be like, ooh, no, thank you, no. Like, what does California would collapse economically if it's never going to happen with California leading the way, because California would literally collapse economically the moment the federal government cut off its money. That's 100% true. I mean, they are deep in debt. Where do you think the money comes from when a state goes broke? It comes from the federal government. They prop it up. We're paying for California's idiocy. We are. We pay for New York's. We pay for Michigan's. We pay for all the blue states. JEC, California and Texas team up? I could suspend my disbelief for that, but the positive portrayal of journalists was a bridge too far. Yeah. Alex, strikes me that Civil War is part of a writing trend dating back to Falling Down. Writers thinking that they are more sophisticated than they are and trying to juxtapose ideas, but just ending up jarring. I liked Falling Down a bit. I mean, because, well, I like parts of it, I should say. I like the opening where he goes crazy and gets the gun and then, I'm going to wind back the clock to 1962. That scene. But yeah, I mean, after a while, they kind of don't know where to go with movies like that. It's more of a pitch movie where it gets greenlit because the pitch is amazing and the meeting you have is amazing when you pitch it to the producers because it sounds like it's going to be great. JC, Falling Down was based. Yeah, it was pretty based, I guess. But like the ending, if I'm remembering correctly, didn't he just get killed at the end? Like, I want to see a movie like that where at the end he wins somehow and doesn't go to jail. Doesn't even go to jail. Like he just gets away. I want to see a version of that like Natural Born Killers, right? Natural Born Killers, spoilers, they get away at the end. I want to see a movie like that for a base character like Michael Douglas's guy. Um, but they always kind of, you know, justify a way to kill him at the end. Alex, Falling Down was based AF, but the writing tried to make him out to be confused and a partial villain when he was just someone wanting his old life back. Yeah, I agree with that. JC dies for our sins like Jesus. Now, don't get blasphemous on the channel, JC. I will not tolerate blasphemy. Jack Posobiec might come here and we'll be in big trouble. Sam Rogers. Tim Poole says Hollywood doesn't know what moderate is. Hollywood is... It's messed up, is what it is. Right now, it's being run by basically the grandchildren, like the children and grandchildren of the rich. The people who made their money. Like back in the 70s and 80s, it was still mostly run by old guys who were from old Hollywood, right? You know, they moved out there in the 40s and they made these amazing movies and started this big industry. They started the Oscars. They started all these crazy things. And by the 70s and 80s, that's when the progressive movement started and movies got gritty and more progressive. And for a while, it was great because this was a new thing. Hollywood had gotten a little old creatively, and this was something, JC, like Jesus in the literary sense. Oh, okay. So the shakeup of the progressives in the 70s and 80s kind of brought a new sensibility to cinema that was really kind of cool. But then it like everything, it went too far. It never stopped. Alex, an old religious studies master at our school said that he never understood blasphemy. If you believe in God, why would you use his name in vain? If you don't, then what purpose does it serve? I agree. JC moved out there moved out there in like 19s. 19s? Yeah, I was there for about 3 or 4 months. I mean, I had moved there. I intended to stay, but it didn't work out, doggy. It didn't work out. What could I do but get out and come back to South Jersey? I had to, damn it. Are you going to get down or what are you going to do? You going to go to sleep? So now you've got the grandchildren of these people, and these people have been rich their entire lives. Like at least the children of the rich, they kind of at least heard about their parents earning their way. They kind of at least, maybe when they were kids, experienced a little bit of the middle class. And things were still partially normal in the Southern California region in some areas in the 80s. JC, I meant the people who run Hollywood's grandparents moved out there in like 1912. It's true. But the movie industry didn't really start until later. Don the Second. Hello, Tony. Hello, Don. So it didn't really get going. I mean, it kind of got going in the silent era, I guess, but the Hollywood we sort of know was really sort of in the 40s, or at least what we know today. And then, you know, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now everybody, and there was still an idea, like Johnny Carson was one of those guys who moved out to LA and he made it big. He was like a normal guy before he moved out to Hollywood and became like a big star. And a lot of people were like that. And that kind of was the process. JEC, Hollywood started in the silent era in the teens. Yeah, but it wasn't the same. Like, in that era, you were not considered a real actor if you did movies at all. You weren't considered a real actor. It wasn't considered a real art form. It was... Now, they look back at those movies, oh my God, they're classics. But back then, they weren't considered like Great. Alex, movies could only have started in California while it was still essentially a new state, partially lawless. Now it is a horrifically regulated state. Yeah, that was partly it. I mean, they mainly did it for the weather because, you know, the movie industry was invented by Thomas Edison, and they shot stuff on the East Coast for a short time and then moved it out there. Sam Rogers has to go. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, Sam. Have a good morning. I guess you're going to work. So, but like the modern movie industry, I think Jesus is Lord, says Sam Rogers, and a bunch of symbols. He's got a cross, a king, and a lion and a lamb. Those are the most religious emojis I've ever seen. JC. W.D. Griffith, Birth of a Nation, was the first legit blockbuster. He filmed it in Cali. I've seen that movie. Yeah. I mean, but Blockbuster back then was different. It didn't really mean the same thing. Like, there wasn't TV to kind of push movies. It was only the movie theater, if you can imagine that. That must have been weird. It was newspapers and movies. No TV. No TV whatsoever. Radio. There was radio, but no TV. So, very interesting. It was more of a live show, too, because keep in mind you'd have the piano player there playing the music. Alex, now we can report at Sam Rogers for... I don't want to say that about him. I know you're making a joke, though. Yes, no, I would not say that about Sam, even in jest. JEC, I say Birth of a Nation was where Hollywood started. Yeah, I mean, it did. Yeah, sure. I'm just saying, like, the sort of modern version of movies and movie stars. There weren't really movie stars during that era. Not really. Like, the movie stars we had in the 40s and 50s, that kind of propelled the way the studio operated from then on in. Up until that point, like, the studios, you know, they put just about anybody in a movie. And there were no stars. I think the first star, it was a silent film star. There was some girl who was a bit of a star, but it wasn't until you get to, like, King Kong and Fay Wray, you start to get, like, movie stars that are in multiple movies. Alex Ogle, if you're still reading at Sam Rogers, read Kindergarten of Eden by Evan Sayet. I don't know what that is. But the people behind the scenes I'm really mainly talking about are like then you could say even great-grandchildren. It's the children, then grandchildren, great-grandchildren of the people who had tons and tons of money. And you kind of have to have money to be in movie business anyway. And when you're that isolated from normal life, you can't make movies that make any sense. JC, the silent stars were forgotten when talkies came. The turnover was quick and jarring. Yeah, even Lauren Hardy didn't make the jump. But there was still this idea, even for a few decades, that you still had to bring in new blood, and you had to nurture the talent, even though in the 70s and 80s I would complain about the way they treated certain talent and whatnot. But there was still an idea, there were writers, there were creatives that you needed. Now there's this idea that you don't really need them that much, or you can micromanage them into a hit. You know, this is why they try to do this scrapbooking process, which I think is a disaster for movies, where they shoot a bunch of extra scenes and then they're going to like, okay, then we'll get into post and we'll put together the movie in post. That is a dumb idea. It's a terrible idea, and it should not be done. you'll note that a guy like Clint Eastwood doesn't do stuff like that. Clint Eastwood crafts a movie. You have to craft a movie. It's just like anything else. JC, Mary Pickford, Glory Swanson, Valentino Wallace Reed, or Valentino and Wallace Reed. Mary Pickford was the one I was thinking of. I think she was the first, technically the first movie star. Valentino was pretty big, I guess. But Mary Pickford actually sort of pushed. She had an agent and was able to push for more money. She was like the first really big one for that. Holly is here. Rudolph Valentino. Tens of thousands of people paid tribute at his open coffin in New York City, and 100,000 mourners lined the streets outside the church where he was a star. Yes, he was. But yes, I feel today's star are cookie cut. Well, now we've entered the era of no celebrities. Like, celebrities don't matter. And they're going back to the studio's more important, which is both good and bad. It's good because the celebrities were very full of themselves and should really shut up. But it's bad because the studio's running things is probably much, much worse. So, like, what my theories with the early Marvel movies is a lot of that you could probably thank not only the Russo brothers, but Robert Downey Jr. Because I think Robert Downey Jr., from what I've read and what I see of him, he feels like a guy who's with the program, kind of understands, he wants to give the fans some good service. At least he did during that era. And, he seems to be pretty concerned about the movie and talented enough that he, it's not just all about him. Whereas most of the other guys, they're kind of trying to make as much money as possible. JC, entering the era of every new generation's having their own versions of e-celebrities, no one out of a certain age group knows who they are. Yeah, the e-celebrities, I don't really even know. Like, what was it? Jake Paul, the guy that's boxing Tyson? About the only guy I know. And then maybe like Tim Pool and the guys, the nerds. Holly M. Well, now they care more about who is the biggest activist and not who is the best actor. I don't even know if they care about that, quite frankly, but I'm not sure what they care about. In a movie like Civil War, I mean, the activism is, to me, behind the scenes when they wrote this damn thing. I think Alex Garland is the activist in this movie, or he thinks he is. He thinks he's going to make some sort of big, important statement, and I just don't think he's smart enough, quite frankly. I mean, 28 Days Later is okay. Ex Machina is pretty good. But this Civil War looks, no, it looks like it's too far outside of his wheelhouse. You would need a guy who is very politically piped in and super honest, and you'd have to get it greenlit somehow. I don't think an honest movie like if you did an honest version of Civil War, I don't think they'd make it. I think the studio would go, oh, we can't make this movie. You know who would win in a Civil War, right? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious who would win. The people with the guns. The people who have promoted gun rights for decades, who have guns, have gun training, versus the people who don't, who are more concerned about pronouns and policing your speech. I'm pretty sure I know who wins that Civil War. I'm pretty sure I do. JC, Paul brothers are old news. That's why they're doing these dog and pony boxing and pro wrestling matches. Yeah, I mean, e-celebs, I mean, I'm too old to even know who the ones the kids are watching. So, it goes back to my theory of the atomization of audiences. See, to me, audiences have been so atomized, thanks to the internet, which is both good and bad, that there's no big enough audience to support television, Hollywood, or any big studio anymore. There's just not enough people. So more and more, the studios are looking for an audience that's big enough to justify the expense of their shows, right? So this is why I think they slipped into fantasy and comics, because things like dramas, erotica especially, or anything close to that, things like action, there's just so much of it, and anybody can make it. Horror, there's just too much of it, and you can't brand it well enough that people only go to see your stuff, with a couple exceptions in horror maybe. But there's just, it's just, you know, the audience is too diffuse. But with fantasy, when they, or with zombies, when they did The Walking Dead, there was almost no game in town, so the show was a big hit. When they did it with Game of Thrones, kind of the same deal. When they did it with the MCU, there was a big enough fan base there to come running. Now they're doing it with video games, same thing. There's a big enough audience for Fallout that if you make the show even moderately competent and just get a fraction of the Fallout gamer audience, you could do pretty well. As long as it doesn't insult them, I think the show will be on a few seasons. But the moment one of those stupid celebrities opens their mouths, like the guy at Reacher is opening his mouth this week, and it's not good, people are starting to get mad, you're going to start to lose your audience. So if they could tell all the celebrities on Fallout, don't you go on the internet, do not talk about politics, don't include us in your stupid message, then maybe they can hang on to the audience they have and do 5 seasons of that show. I do like the look of it, by the way. I mean, it looks amazing. But, you know, plot-wise, I think it's got a few holes. But we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll watch the second episode. People keep raving about it. So, JC, I heard season 2 of Reacher sucked. Dialogue seemed like AI wrote it. It wasn't as good. First season's great. Second season is okay. It's like tolerable. Has a few moments that are pretty good, but overall, it feels a little long. It was only 8 episodes. It felt like it could have gone 2. It really did. Maybe 3 or 4 tops. But 8 was too much. Felt like it got stretched out. So they had switched the writing team. So I think it was a step down. I think they should have stuck. You know, when something's something works, you don't change the team. You keep everybody exactly the same. So the first season was great. Second season was okay. I don't know about third season now. Now Alan Richardson's opening his mouth. Blah, 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 blah. Now I'm thinking like, maybe I'll be busy that week. Number 2, Godzilla and Kong. Is it Godzilla versus Kong or Godzilla and Kong? The New Empire. Week 3 drops to 15.4 million. Still doing okay. 157 mil domestic, 278 worldwide, 436 in total. And that is probably going to be money. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's money. $135 million budget. So that is definitely money. Again, you can't really jam politics in this. It's really tough to have Godzilla go, "Roar, the patriarchy, roar." You know, King Kong coming out with a sign, "My body, my choice." It ain't going to happen. So, gee, I wonder why these movies are doing so well. Well, they're pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward. You don't have to worry about getting a friggin' message jammed down your throat. So, there you go. Number 3, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, 5.8 million. In its fourth week, 159 mil, which is over its production budget, but not great. I mean, 100 mil really should make at least 200 mil to break even. They probably spent a lot of money on advertising this. I mean, but 63 million overseas, that doesn't bode well. It did okay in the UK. Has it opened in China? Yeah, it's probably not going to open in China. I don't think you needed to jam so many people in that movie, Ghostbusters. I think you could have kept it to the new Ghostbusters in Afterlife and the old Ghostbusters, and that's it. I don't think you needed Patton Oswalt and I can't say his name, Kamali Ninjani. Didn't need him. Don't know why he's in it. I think you should have just stuck with the old guys and the new guys. Do a send-off for the old guys. Have him do one last mission. Have them all retire. Let the new guys take over. I don't know why they jammed in a lesbian romance. That doesn't seem like something that would be good. So, no thanks. I'll wait until it hits HBO Max, and then maybe I'll watch it. But number 4, Kung Fu Panda, up from 5. So you see how slow it is. Or wait, am I reading the 4 from Kung Fu Panda 4? Nope, it's number 4. 423 million. I believe this is money. I think it was money last time I checked. Yeah, 85 million. So this did really well for its budget. Perfect. Kung Fu Panda, expect a number 5. Expect a number 5. Dune Part 2 drops to... No, it's up from 6 to 5. So, yeah, the new movies from last week are not doing well. This is still doing well, 683 million. So that's definitely money. Number 6, dropping from number 2. Gee, I wonder why. Monkey Man, 4.1 million, dropped 59% in week 2. That's a bad sign. Dropped more than 50%. I think what hurt this movie, and it definitely hurt it for me. I mean, this looked like Indian John Wick. And I'm like, all about it. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be a big thing about trans people. Like, what? 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 Yeah. Why would you put that in a movie like this? I don't get it. Don't know why they would want to jam that in an action movie, but why you think that's appealing, Hollywood? Alex Ogle, Dune 2 was great in the cinema, but I won't pay to see it again. I hope it will come out on streaming soon. I think it will. Everything's coming out within like a few months. And although it's number 5 at the box office, maybe they should keep it in there a couple of more weeks. I mean, we're at week 7 here. Might as well go to at least go another month. But Monkey Man, I mean, this is dropping. Not good. Not good. Maybe you shouldn't have added all the trans stuff. Just saying. Not really appropriate for an action movie. Don't really see what that gets you. Dropping from 4 to 7 is The First Omen. 3.7 million. Well, wait. Let's look at Monkey Man. Is it making money? 22 million. Nah, that's probably not money. Probably not. Alex, yes, I too hope it has a good run in theaters. Yeah, The First Omen, 35 million worldwide. Could be money. I mean, it's a horror movie, so you might have squeaked by with a $20 million budget. But, again, they made too many Omen movies back in the day. I believe they made 4. And this is the 5th one. it's just when you start to get into 4 and 5 movies, and you're talking about decades after it came out, it's time to rethink, to either make a completely new movie or reboot the old movie. But I don't see any reason to reboot it. But wasn't that big of a hit. Alex, is the new Omen any good? I don't like horror films, too predictable, but a genre sadly lacking in good writing. The buzz I'm hearing is not great. One article I rated it as the second best Omen movie after the first one, which I thought, this feels like advertising for the movie, so I don't know. I mean, they're all kind of the same to me. Oh, the child is the Antichrist. What will we do? And then the child's eyes glow and they kills the nun and we're off to the races. The only movie like this I like is Exorcist. The Exorcist is the absolute best. If you haven't watched The Exorcist, it's the absolute best. It's friggin' blockbuster ending that the ending is like, oh man, that was messed up. That was messed up. The first Omen's okay. The first time you see it. Like in the 70s, it was, or early 80s, whenever it came out. I saw it and it was like, ooh, that's scary. Now I would laugh at it, but back then it was kind of scary. Movies were different. Like, they didn't give away the movie in the trailer. So you would have this movie and you'd go see it. You knew it was a horror movie, but you had no idea what part of the horror it was going to be. Now, like, it's so predictable. Alex, Mike Oldfield, music, superb multi-instrumentalist. Oh. Number 8 is The Long Game, premiering from Muchos Mas Media. Looks like a movie about golf. 1.3 million. Gee, I can't understand why people aren't flocking to a movie about a sport that's more boring than watching bread rise. No offense, golfers, but golfing is boring. I mean, I can understand it. It seems like a good time if you want to get drunk and have a hot girl, be caddy your beer all around, and you're a businessman. But I don't really get it beyond that. I mean, every time I've been golfing, I just spend the whole time making jokes, the jokes from Caddyshack. That's all I do if I go golfing, is I do Caddyshack bits all day long till people tell me to stop. Please, just stop. It's a Cinderella story here. A Cinderella story. Alex, golf boring? Tell that to the creators of Caddyshack. Exactly. Now, Caddyshack, it's great. And then, for some reason, and this is why movies are in big trouble, the 9th highest grossing movie this weekend was Shrek 2 from Universal, re-released in the 1,500 theaters, 1.3 million. Continuing, how much money did it make? They're trying to push it over $1 billion, I guess. It's at $936 million. Not so sure why they did this, but it's a good move. Again, the movies suck. You might as well re-release the old ones. Oh, Bleach Demon is here. YouTube working? Ha 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 ha. Are you watching the beginning of the stream? Probably, the way YouTube's working. Jesus. You're probably seeing my first bits, screaming about YouTube and trying to get back on the air. So, Universal has re-released Shrek 2. I mean, I would do it. I would have done this a while ago. Bleach Demon, and it put me an hour behind. Thanks, YouTube. Wow. I'm talking to you in the past, Bleach Demon. Quick. Buy crypto. No, wait, you're not that far in the past. No, don't buy crypto. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me for financial advice. I'm just joking, YouTube. I'm not actually giving financial advice. It's a joke. YouTube. Oh, you'll get that second part of my message an hour from now. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Number 10 is Sting. This is a horror movie about a spider. I did do a trailer analysis of this. 1.2 million. This looked okay. I mean, it wasn't very realistic. The spider grows to gigantic size and starts killing everybody in an apartment building, but at Bleach Demon, Tony had issues with his stream going. I hope you can catch up with Tony's dodgy advice whether to buy gold or eat the boogs. So, I don't know, Sting screams like rent this movie later to me. I don't know why they call it Sting, because it's kind of confusing. It's not about the guy from the police. It's not about the sword in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. It's about a spider. I think it's a wrong title for the movie, but that's the name of the spider in the movie. Number 11, Someone Like You. Wait, is this the... Yeah, this is the Sydney Sweeney movie. Why is this a... No, it's not. It's a different movie. Sorry, that's a different movie. 4.8 million. JC, Klaus in the hospital, apparently. Oh, no. Oh, no, Klaus Schwab. Well, I sure hope he gets the equity of the medical community. I hope he gets exactly the medical care that everybody else in the hospital gets. Like, exactly. Bleach Demon. Thanks, Alex. Just caught up. Alex Ogle at JC. Mirable Dictu. Bleach Demon. Sting sounds like a remake of The Giant Spider Invasion starring Alan Hale Jr. Oh. Well, I knew he must have been in something other than Gilligan's Island, but I didn't know until now. But it's not a super giant spider. It starts off as a normal sized spider that she gets like at a pet store or something. It's weird. And then it just grows. So Someone Like You, anyways, at Fathom Events, I guess it's sort of a religious rom-com movie, I guess. Second week. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confusing it with that Sydney Sweeney movie. So Fathom Events movies still making some money. I think this is going to be the avenue of alternate distribution. It's not perfect yet, but, you know, it seems to be working for Angel Studios. JC, I hope the nurses make sure he's up to date with all his boosters and don't want the poor guy to catch the sniffles. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think they should booster up Klaus a couple extra times just to be safe. Like, I think it would be a shame if he got all the boosters again just to be safe. 12. Arthur the King. This is the Mark Wahlberg movie. It's in its 5th week. Kind of a wholesome flick. I don't think it's doing that great, though, but 26 million. Yeah, we don't know what it costs, but it didn't look like it cost that much. They shot it outside, so a lot of wood scene. Number 13 is The Arcadian. Oh, this is a new Nicolas Cage movie, which I'm not sure what it's about. I think Cage is more of a extended cameo than an actual star of this movie. Alex, I'm really hoping Justin Trudeau is all the way up to date as well. Yes, I think Justin Trudeau should probably get some extra boosters just to be safe. And, you know, you can get the vaccine in him quicker if you hit him right in the neck. I'm just saying. I can say that about Canadians. I couldn't say that about the president. So, yeah. So Why not make sure Justin is extra boosted, Canada? But this Arcadian movie is Nicolas Cage. He plays, I guess they're like at the end of the world kind of thing, and his son falls in love with this girl, and you know the rest. Alex, Nicolas Cage, I hate this film, but his self-aware. I hate his films, but he's self-aware enough that I respect him. Yeah, I don't know. This movie seems like a bait and switch to me because they put Cage in the forefront, but I think it's really about the boys. I think it's mostly about the boys, and they keep coming back to the dad, who's Nick Cage. It doesn't look that interesting, quite frankly. I don't know what the villains are meant to be. I don't know if it's aliens or what. It's $481,000 in 1,100 theaters, so it doesn't seem like it's doing too well. Immaculate from Neon. It's another Omen movie type movie. 18 million. Meh, I say. Late Night with the Devil, in its fourth week, only did 10 million. I kind of want to see it, though. I kind of like the look of it. If back in the day, me and my friends would have been all about this movie, we would have seen this movie on opening night. This would have been the kind of movie like, oh, we gotta go see that movie. It looks stupid as F. And we'd been like all over it. So it's kind of going out of theaters, but it was IFC. It's interesting, at least. I would like to see it get a little more attention, but Imaginary, I don't care about this movie. Lionsgate, it did better though. Somehow, 35 million. I don't know, man. I don't get these movies that are like, oh, there's a toy. Remember this wonderful toy when you were a child? It's evil. Holly, I seen Late Night with the Devil. I give it a B+. Well, that's not bad. That sounds pretty watchable. I'm going to look for it in streaming. La Chimera. La Chimera. Well, I like the movie poster. Looks like a foreign flick. I'm not sure what it's about. 1.5 million. I think I looked it up before. One Life with Anthony Hopkins in its fifth week. Did okay. 31 million. That's from Bleecker Street. They know how to make a movie on the cheap, so I'm going to say that movie's probably money. I don't think they have a budget here, but I bet it didn't cost them much. So, 31 million. I bet they made money on it. This movie, ooh. I don't know if this was a good idea. This is called Sasquatch Sunset. It's about Bigfoots. Jesse Eisenberg made it. And I think he's one of the Bigfoots. $93,000, but it only opened in 9 theaters, so like they're trying to break into the independent movie market. I guess that'll get wider release after this, and we'll see how well it does. You know, with Eisenberg, I think he's about 3 to 5 years too late to make this movie. Like, if he had made this movie before he made, Superman versus Batman, I think that's what hurt him. Maybe this could have worked, when he was still in his comedy phase. Now it's just like, I don't know if I want to see a movie about Bigfoot or Big Feet. Big Feet. Housekeeping for Beginners in its second week. Oh, I forget what this is about. I remember talking about it last week, though. Yeah, just a lot of sad movies out. That's another sad movies. In the Land of Saints and Sinners, this is the Liam Neeson movie. This is already done. $54,000, not doing well. The Beast, $50,000. I forget, but I mean, at this point, second week, it's doing 50K. I don't know. YOLO, strange samurai movie, still in theaters. And also premiering this week, Indigo Girls. It's Only Life After All. $14,000. I assume it's a concert movie for the Indigo Girls. How big could this audience be? I mean, it's in 14 theaters. I wouldn't go too many more theaters than that. But I don't think they're famous enough that they have a big enough audience to do like a Taylor Swift. The box office this week, 72 million, which is down from last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think last week was in the 80s, right? Yeah, 84 million last week. And a week before that, 136 million. So we're not even... Now we've got 2 more weeks where we haven't cracked a million. Or 100 million, excuse me. That's not good. It doesn't even look like there's enough movies on this list. Look how short the movie list is. Feels like we blasted through that. You only got 24 movies. I mean, the Society of Magical You-Know-Whats, that went out of theaters in 3 weeks. See, we had 72 last week. Why do we only have 24 this week? Where are all the damn movies? Let me refresh. Something's wrong. That seems like far too few movies. Far too few movies. Alex, music films are the most profitable. They cost nothing to produce other than the incidentals over touring costs and generate pure profit for the fans. That's true, but still, I don't know how much money they're going to make from Indigo Girls. It wouldn't seem like a lot to me, but there you go. Maybe it's part of the new audience demo that Hollywood keeps pursuing, which again, for some insane reason, and I swear this is true, this is what I heard, it used to be males 18 to 35, now it's females, lesbians, like 22 to 45. Like, why would you pursue that audience? I'm not saying there's not an audience there, or that they don't watch movies, but it just seems oddly specific and not particularly large. So, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So, alright. That's a sad box office. Sad box office. And see, this is maybe why they timed Civil War for this week. Maybe they knew there was nothing it was going to compete against. At worst, they might lose to Godzilla versus King Kong. And, you know, it's in its 3rd week, so that was unlikely. But the fact that it's number 2 in its 3rd week, Ghostbusters number 3 in its 4th week, Kung Fu Pandas in its 6th week is number 4. I mean, the 2nd week movies have plummeted, and a bunch of other movies premiered this week and did nothing, essentially. Sad. JC, release it in the 14 markets Indigo are popular, sell it as a DVD at concerts. Yeah. I mean, as long as it doesn't cost you nothing. I just think there are so many other bands before the Indigo Girls that I would release a concert movie about. You know, you release a concert movie with any one of these popular rap guys. Oh my God. Oh my God, would it be popular? It'd be insanely popular. I think, especially in the urban areas. I think you would pack the theater with fans who probably don't want to spend the money to go to the concert or can't for whatever reason. Sure, they'd go to the movies and see it with their friends, dance in the aisles. Um, JC, 22, 40-year-old single white females uh, piss so much money away on crap, just all about how you market to them. Remember those Stanley Cups they had lead in them? Maybe they're trying to kill them. I don't know. That's true, but so do males. And again, males still are making the decisions on the dates a lot of times. JC, Kanye has done concert films. Are there any big rappers these days? I mean, Lil Wayne's still out there. I think he would draw in enough people that it would be worth doing, certainly. Drake is still around. You know, you can go back to the old guys. You could get a guy like Jay-Z to do a concert movie. I think it would be gangbusters. Even if he just did one concert and filmed it, I think it would be like easy $50 million win. An easy $50 million win. JC, these hoes aren't dating. They're undateable. Lil Wayne was a 2000s guy. Yeah, but he's still around. He has fans. I think they would come out. I mean, he still can play a theater. Still can pack them in. I don't know. Who's current? I don't know who's current. I mean, I'm sure some guy's current that I'm forgetting. You know, any concert movie, any big guy with a name. There's got to be some guys. You know? Even like Rolling Stones are going back on tour. You know, they used to release concert movies all the time. You could release a concert movie to current Stones. People would go see it. I'd go see it. I mean, they released Talking Heads. So, you got to be able to go through like every band from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. LeMay is here. Sexy Red. Thank you. Is that a band? Sexy Red? I don't know. Is that a rapper? Let's go to Variety. Oh, here you go. Coachella apparently is happening. No Doubt's Coachella set unites multiple generations of fans. How about a Coachella concert movie? That'd be big. You get all the bands in there. I mean, No Doubt is pretty old, but you know, you get the older bands mixed with the newer people. I think that would work. JC, I don't think there are any new big acts. Coachella was this weekend. It all bangs for 20 to 30 years ago, and Tyler, the Creator. Yeah, but I think that's enough audience that it could work. I mean, more than Indigo Girls, right? Box office. Civil War sets A24 record with 25 million debut. That's the biggest A24 movie? I guess. I hope they're not encouraged to make more of this, though. LeMay. If she had a movie, it might be NC-17 R at minimum. Perhaps. JC, it was all bands from 20 to 30 years ago. Like No Doubt, LOL. Right, but you have... I'm sure there were some new people. I mean, Olivia Rodrigo is relatively new, right? And I'm sure there was a bunch of other new current bands that probably I never heard of that were in the mix. Here's Grimes. Grimes is relatively new. Apologizes for calamitous Coachella set. Please forgive me. I mean, that's kind of worth saying. You could do a whole thing. Grimes went on stage, but it did not go well. Oh no, it's not going well. I'm so sorry. The speaker broke, and then the guitarist spontaneously exploded. Oh God, no! Well, I didn't expect that to happen. You know, the interviews after the stage. Well, I went on stage to have a really good set, but then I didn't. Let's see. Rico Wade, key Outkast producer and member of Organized Noise, dies at 52. That seems like a young age to die, said the 58-year-old. Here you go. Here's Drake. Drake apparently responds to Kendrick Lamar's diss track with push-ups. JC, Tyler, the creator, is the only guy putting out music today I'm into. I didn't think his last album was good as the previous two before that. Alex, spontaneous guitarist combustion. Oh, spontaneous guitarist combustion is something music videos need more of. Yes. Bleach Demon. Ah, no doubt. Fond memory of my first girlfriend. Met in Germany. Lived the next country over here in the U.S. Met in Germany. Lived the next country over here in the U.S. So your girl was in another country. I could see the appeal of that. JC, Grimes' biggest hit was like 2012. She's best known for being Elon's baby mama. Holly M. Have a good night, all. Have a good night, Holly. Is it getting late? Oh, it's 8:30. All right, moving on. Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. How to watch tonight's concert special on TV and online for free. Ooh. I'd see that. I like Billy Joel. I'm not afraid to say it. I bought his albums. Bleach Demon. Oops. County. Oh, okay. Now it makes more sense. Met in Germany. Live the next county over here in the US. Okay. That makes more sense. Ryan Gosling returns for sequel to beloved SNL sketch exploring Avatar font obsession. Yeah, I don't think that's a very good sketch. I can see why you cut it. I can't see why you cover it in Variety. Drives me nuts you cover SNL sketches in Variety. You used to cover movies. You used to cover entertainment. Now you cover sketches. Ah! God, I hate that frame. Woke DC Comics fans burn images of gay Superman creator Tom Taylor. So now, to turn to the disaster that is the world of comics, my God, it's just embarrassing to even be associated with the world of comics these days. So, Tom Taylor is the guy who made Superman gay, everybody. Yeah. Not the original Superman. It's his son who's bi and very proud of it because that's what we needed in comics. No, not thrilling and exciting adventures. We needed more gay. So he jammed the comic full of gay and everybody praised him. And now they have got mad at him because I think they're pulling out of the gay, so to speak. And now they've burned images of Tom Taylor because they're mad about it, I guess. They courted this audience and now they're turning on them. I'm not surprised because regular gay people would just want to read a good comic. Fanatical gay people insist that everybody's gay and that you got to make more gay in the comic. And then you do that, and it's never enough for the woke people. And regular gay people are just like, there's too much gay in this. Because they're normal people. See, they don't need their entertainment choked with gay. They don't need it. Even gay people were just like, Superman's gay? Oh, his son? Do we really need this in the comic? Like, they just didn't need that. Just didn't need it. No. It's mostly just designed to piss off comic book fans, which seems to be the new trend now. Well, let's piss off all our fans this weekend. What do? Let's meet let's make one of our characters eat his own feces. How about that? How about that? Yeah, that'll piss people off. Good idea. Okay, let's get that in a production. I mean, just stop doing this, DC Comics. Or deal with the fans that you've created. You've created these fanatical fans that have higher and higher expectations of more and more gay Marxist stuff. It's not going to stop. They want more. It wasn't enough to make him gay. Now he's got to be super gay. Now he's got to go to a planet of gay. That still won't be enough. Oh, now gay Superman lives on the planet of gay. Not enough. Now we want gay inanimate objects. Like, these people are fanatical. They're not normal people. There are normal gay people. Most of them don't even read comics because of stuff like this. Because they just want good stories. That's it. That's all they want. Everybody wants a good story. If there are gay people in it, fine. If there are not gay people in it, also fine. You don't need to jam. Gay is not a substitute for quality. It's just not. It's not a substitute for story or plot or character. It's just stupid. Alex Ogle, choking on gay just when I thought the stream wasn't edgy enough. Am I still on the air? JC, I think because he didn't acknowledge Barbara Gordon was Oracle before in his Nightwing run. That's what they're mad about? Oh my God, don't tell me this is a comic book thing. That was bad enough when they painted bricks green and threw them through the window of a bar at a DC Comics gathering because they had made Hal Jordan evil. I mean, I was pretty pissed off, but I wouldn't throw a green brick through the bar window. That's just stupid. Here's what you do. Try this. Don't buy the comic. Oh, this is stupid. I'm not going to buy it anymore. Sales go down, and then hopefully they course correct. They're not going to course correct because they don't care if they make money on any of these things anymore, apparently. That is my assessment, knowing what I know about the comic book industry and various bodies and where they're buried. The word is a lot of these companies, they're just not making money. They don't really care about the comics. They're kind of making some money in libraries, and they're kind of feeding the ideology there. Well, they love this kind of storyline in the libraries because the libraries, a lot of them are run by super Marxist, not the ones down in South Jersey, thankfully, but a lot of teachers in the teachers union, of course. But there is hope. I ran into someone at the bookstore tonight who was very based. She was very based, and a woman. And I was very surprised. I was like, oh, wow, she's pretty based. She knows what time it is. She knows what time it is. But whatever it is, look, you play with fire, you're going to get burned. I would not acknowledge these people. I wouldn't speak to them. I would block them, and I would say, please buy my comic, give it a chance. That would be it. If they don't like it, I wouldn't address their concerns. You just don't address people. You don't address fans directly. They got a problem with your storyline like this. There's no winning discussion at the end where they go, oh, okay, I see you have a handle on it. Sorry I interrupted. That's not going to happen. And you can capitulate all you want. And when they turn around and ask for a paycheck because well, I could advise you on every story you do, still won't be enough. Won't be enough till they completely control it. And that's what they're going for. So what you have to do is say, if you get cornered, you have to say, well, thanks for your input. We'll see what happens. And you have to give them a vague answer like that because you can't commit to anything. You don't know these people. And if they push you in a corner and say, hey, you got to listen to me. You have to do what I say. You have to say, no, I don't. I don't work for you. I work for DC Comics. And you're not privy to our meetings and the direction we're going in. Well, I might not buy your comic. Well, that's your choice. And that would be unfortunate. But I hope you'll stay and check it out. Because Superman's awesome. That's what you say. You don't get on Twitter and start arguing with these people. You'll never win the argument. So, Tom Taylor's first mistake, in my view, was getting on Twitter at all. And the only thing he should have done is like said, "Hi, I'm Tom Taylor. I write Superman. Here's the latest issue. Hope you buy it," and then disappear. Just disappear. I was there's like, you got 10,000 comments, Tom, and they're all yelling at you. Yep, I didn't answer a single one because I got scripts to write for Superman. That should be his response, but it's not. Alex, yeah, I was going to say that the Pineys has a distressing lack of DIE. How about gay Pineys? And then there's a trans Piney. No, thank you. I'll keep that under advisement for our new DEI director. His name is Helmut, and as some of you may remember, Helmut is my German national intern. He lives in my basement, and I pay him in comic books. I'm still paying him in comic books. He still lives in my basement, so he'll be fielding any suggestions, so you can send them through him. Just send me an email and put attention to Helmut, and it's HELMUT, and I will forward it to him, and he will promptly lose it, and then I'll yell at him later. And then later, when I don't take your suggestion, I will blame Helmut for screwing it all up. That's how it works. All right. Oh, here's some great news, everybody. Hang on. Speaking of reboots, the reboot of the Scary Movie franchise is in the works at Paramount with Neil H. Moritz. Isn't that awesome? They're going to reboot the Scary Movie, a parody of other movies. They're going to reboot because that makes sense. Like, how do you reboot? How do you reboot a franchise that's based on the parodies of other franchises? That doesn't make any sense. It's not a reboot. They should just make another one. Or just start it over. You know, just say, okay, this is the latest Scary Movie. It's called Scary Movie. We're back again. Or maybe the joke is in the reboot portion of it. I don't know. If Chris Elliott's not in it, though, what's the point? Let's see. Oh, yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, will be a gritty, R-rated live-action adaptation. I don't think that's a good move. I don't think that's a good move at all. You're taking the kids out of the mix, although kids will go see it anyway. I think people who want to see R-rated movies generally do not want to see Ninja Turtles jumping up and down. It's just my take on it. I don't know, at this point, do ratings mean anything if you're going to have an R-rated Ninja Turtles movie? What is he going to hang dong in the middle of the movie? We're going to see a turtle dong or shadow of one? Like, how are you going to make this R-rated? Alex, to my earlier point about the horror genre lacking good writing, how the H can they reboot a parody of it when the core is lacking? Well, I mean, the joke, I guess, in the Scary Movie reboot will be, number one, reboots and endless sequels. So, obviously they might reboot it and just recast the various characters. I mean, there's just not enough. Part of the problem with parody is, in order for the parody to work, the initial thing has to be strong enough that you could parody it. So, and will they bother to parody what they should parody, which is, what they should do is do a reboot of the movie and make fun of how everything is so freaking woke. Like, make fun of that. Like, really send it up. But will they do that? Maybe they might make a couple of jokes, but they really got to go for the jugular. They really got to make it friggin' offensive. They got to make it like, oh, I got to see that movie. But I don't think they will. I mean, I don't know what comedy writers are even left in Hollywood. They used to recruit guys out of the Conan O'Brien show, and those guys were good. Some of those guys are still good. I don't know who they got left. I mean, Forget about the guys on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Just forget about them. I would never hire any of them. And the Colbert Show. And maybe the Seth Meyers Show. Maybe Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers did have one funny sketch recently. Maybe one of the Jimmy Fallon guys. Maybe. They don't seem to go for any of the stand-up guys anymore. Some of them are okay-ish. So where do you get your comedy writers? There's no comedy shows on. No, none worth a damn. I definitely wouldn't hire any of the SNL guys. They're terrible too. I don't know where you get these guys anymore. You'd have to go. I would go. Shit. I don't even know. You'd have to go to underground comedy scenes where they're doing some kind of based improv somewhere that we don't know about. I mean, it would be that's a deep search to look for a decent comedy crew. I don't even know. I wouldn't trust any of them. If they gave me a deal for the Pineys, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's just use my jokes." Oh no, we're gonna bring in a team of guys. No, you're not. No, you're not. I don't want that. No. How about no? How about just do the books? Because I don't trust any of the guys you would bring in. LeMay, Newground animators and YouTubers. There's a couple of YouTubers. Ryan Long, I'd bring him in. Oh yeah, Ryan Long's good, and his cohort. I forget his cohort. He's pretty funny too. Kyle Dunningham, he would be good. And Kerp, he's funny. I would bring him. There's a couple others. You know, but you need money and you need to be able to protect the talent. I mean, you could fix Saturday Night Live tomorrow if you brought in those guys. Matt Rife, maybe. I don't think he's been ruined yet. You know, Dave Chappelle, of course, but he's too big on his own. A handful of other people. I'd bring back Louis C.K. He's still edgy. He's still good. Yeah, he's had his problems, but again, that's what makes you have to tolerate some of the talent's foibles. Yeah, Louis a big weirdo. I get it, but he's freaking talented. Alex Ogle, Will Franken, American comic who relocated to the UK. That guy is a genius. Oh, I never heard of him. He's not related to Al Franken, is he? That would be weird. Will Franken. I haven't heard him. Jimmy Carr is pretty good. There's a handful of English guys that are decent. Oh, here we go. Fans mock Prime Video's Fallout They-Them character, Dane of the Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah, that was another thing I mentioned in my review. Like, all the men are kind of incompetent so far, or at least in the first episode of Fallout. They're kind of all incompetent. Except maybe Walter Goggins, but he's not technically a man anymore. But you know, Maximus is a character who's emasculated, but his manly woman friend, I don't think Dane had they-them pronouns, but definitely was implied that Dane was, I didn't realize the character's name was Dane. It definitely was implied Dane was trans, because Dane is clearly a female, but Dane is clearly very manly. But that makes sense in the military, but it didn't make sense that she was in the military with Maximus. So, Don the Second, David Lucas? David Lucas. I don't know that name. Alex, could you please remove that bloody kissing picture? Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I kind of tuned it out. Let's see. Capcom had a localization controversy, so they were translating some of the Japanese stuff and changing all the crap and putting some woke BS in it. The Alex Kurtzman Star Trek is finally ending. slowly they're starting to end all the series. So they're ending Lower Decks, which was kind of an embarrassment to Star Trek in general. It was a Star Trek comedy show, kind of, but like still kind of woke and stupid, it seemed to me. There is a parody of Red Sonja in Arctic Press called Blue Sonja, and they're being sued over it by the guys who own Red Sonja, which is weird. And then X-Men is relaunching, but the word is, according to Fandom Pulse, that things aren't going well. There's a lot of infighting behind the scenes, and they are blaming fans, of course, for their problems. It's not that they make crappy comics anymore. No, no, no. That can't possibly be the cause at Marvel Comics. It's because the fans, for some reason, have this crazy idea that they need good stories and characters for some reason. That's crazy. It's crazy. So the relaunch is not going well, probably because everybody's so burned out from all the woke BS at Marvel. They're just tuning out. They're just numb to the whole experience at this point, and they're finally just saying, "Oh, you're relaunching? Oh, it's the perfect time for me to stop buying X-Men." That's why they're doing it. You gave them an out. Every time you relaunch something, you give people an out to go, "Okay, I'm done." I did it with Spider-Man. They relaunched Spider-Man, and I was like, "All right, this is a perfect time for me to jump out." I got to the end of a Superman or a Spider-Man story, the one where Norman Osborn Jr. finally figures out who Peter Parker is, and then it's a 6-issue mini-series, and in the end, Harry dies, but he's already had a son with this woman, and then the last shot is Harry Osborn III, a baby, looking evil. And I was like, okay, I get it. I guess he's going to be evil just like his dad and his granddad, so... But, you know, that was before Marvel brought back the original Harry Osborn for some reason and continues to screw the pooch on all their characters. So let them relaunch. I have no interest in reading Gail Simone anymore. Alex, Blue Sonja appears to have been an impressive tittle sequence. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward parody. I don't know how they expect to win the lawsuit. I mean, the color's in the name. Red Sonja, Blue Sonja. It's pretty obvious that Blue Sonja is different. I don't think there's going to be any... The metric is the likelihood of confusion. There's no likelihood of confusion if you go to, oh, I'm going to read Red Sonja. Oh, here's Blue Sonja. Oh, it must be the same Sonja. No, I don't think that's the way that works. So, oh, I ran out of water. I ran out of iced tea, but I have backup water. See, I prepared this week. I at least had this going for me. That was my water from the bookstore signing. All right, so comics is in the toilet. In other words, there's really no hope at the big two. There's really not much hope anywhere, except maybe in the crowdfunded stuff, I would say. And even, I gotta say, and I don't want to dip too deep in this because I don't need the Ethan Van Sciver fans chasing me down on a stream, but look, I think Ethan Van Sciver has done exactly what I thought was going to happen. He's gone down a bad path, and he seems trapped in doing anything but comics on his live stream. And he's in like Howard Stern mode, and I don't think it works for him at all. Not at all. No. There are guys it could work for. Dick Masterson tried to do it. He had some success. He didn't stick with his original character, who was the misogynist. I think he would have been better off sticking with the Dick Masterson with the sunglasses and the bald head and the mustache. Now he's going more for like a shock jockey thing. You know. But he started out in that world a little bit, so to some extent it works for him better. Alex Ogle, EVS was entertaining, but I can't watch his output now. Yeah, me neither. I'm completely unplugged. I've I've unsubscribed from everything related to EVS because I don't want to hear about him anymore. And every update I get now is like, oh, EVS is now ranting about Eric July again. Eric July, yes, he said some stupid things in the beginning of his comic book career, and he course corrected, and now he doesn't say that stuff anymore, near as I could tell. He seems to be trying to put out comics. You may not like them, but whatever. So now I just feel like EVS has nothing else to do. And that's bad. Because he does have stuff to do. He has comics to draw. And I wish he would just draw them and shut up at this point. I don't think I don't have any interest in anything he says now. I think he's kind of wrecked his credibility to some degree. I think maybe if he shuts down the trash cast, which, again, I don't like that either. It just seems mean. Like if he was going after mean people in the comic book industry, maybe I could get behind something like called the trash cast. I feel like he picked the wrong hill to die on, and now he's sort of stuck there, and he's still trying to make it work. I don't know. Maybe he has enough followers that he start believing in his own hype, and that's a real danger. I think that's a real danger. You start believing your own hype. You start listening to your fans. Like, you have to hear your fans, but you can't obey your fans because they'll dare you to do things you should not do. Some of them because they're having fun and they think it'll be funny in the moment. Some of them because they're genuinely malicious and want to tear you down. And some of them just say random things and they don't even mean them. So you just can't listen to them. LeMay, I have other people to watch drama. Mr. Medaker, Kino Casino, and Mad at the Internet. He should have stuck with drawing. Yeah, I don't think he's particularly good at the drama because I don't think he's piped in enough. He's too old for it. You need young people stick to that. One guy who's kind of okay with it, but he only dips in it once in a while, is Jeremy over at the Quartering. Like, Jeremy will dip into it, but he's dipped into it before, and he sort of picks and chooses his battles. He doesn't battle every damn time. It's like, and you can't. And there's not enough drama in the comic book industry to sustain it, especially against one particular guy, it seems. He just seems to be stuck on Eric July. There are a million other guys in the comic book industry doing stupid things. I guess you could go after them, but most of them don't make enough money. They don't have half the success that EVS has. So there's no point in going after them. That's totally punching down. I wouldn't support that. At least if you were going after more successful guys who had done something bad, then maybe people could get behind that. Eric July is a well-meaning amateur. He wasn't a professional comic book creator. EVS was. And he should act like a professional. As a professional, you don't attack amateurs. You just don't. You know? People have asked me questions and stuff about comics over the years. If they're amateurs, I treat them one way. If they're professionals, I treat them another way. If you're an amateur, I'm going to be nicer to you. I'm not going to give you any too harsh criticisms because I don't even know if you could handle it. If you have a professional, depending on how well you know him, you can say, well, dude, you know X, Y, and Z. You can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or you should go in this direction, or whatever. If they ask for that criticism, which they rarely do if they're professionals. So, he's a good artist, but I think it was weird because so many people kept saying, oh, EVS, you got to watch out for him. And I was under the impression like, oh, they're just saying that because of his political views. Maybe not. Maybe he's, been sort of corrupted by his own success a little bit. It's gone to his head a little bit. And maybe initially he was a good guy, but now it seems like he's just stuck on this. And it's going to end with him, I think, just basically either shutting down his channel or losing all his audience. Because who's going to want to come back to such negativity? I don't. You can't be that negative. If you're going to go negative, you have to be the king of all media. And that's what Howard did. But even Howard was a good guy. He knew how to, at least back in the day, not so much now, he kind of doesn't care, but I think. But, you know, back in the day, he went after the biggest guys in radio. And guys he felt had ripped him off. EVS is not going after the biggest guys in comics. He's not. If he was, that would be a different story. If, you know, he did for a while. LeMay, he did go after Doug Tenapel a while back. Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is. I mean, I get a lot of these guys you just don't even know, you know. Alex, damn it, Tony, I agree with you. You shouldn't pander to your fans, but you aren't embracing new markets if you don't write that trans Piney book. Are you sure that's what you want? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what I want. If you want the trans character, you have to go to Wokistan. Wokistan has a trans character in it. I didn't even write that character. Yeah, so... and it's just not helping things. You know, the indie comic scene could right now be steamrolling Marvel. It could steamroll Marvel if it united in a good, positive way. The only thing EVS is doing now, it's just drawing energy away from that. And it's a shame. LeMay, Earthworm Jim Guy. Bleach Demon, Liberty Prime. Ah, that's who it is. That's the name of the robot that I was talking about earlier. You're still an hour behind. Somehow. You're still an hour behind, Bleach Demon. If only there was some way I could warn you in the past about what's to happen in the future. Yeah, the Earthworm Jim Guy and the whole Ed Piskor thing is very tragic. I feel so bad. Piskor, though, you know, maybe he did something inappropriate, but he certainly didn't deserve to die. He didn't do anything. Maybe he said some inappropriate things online. But, yeah, it's sad. Earthworm Jim Guy, I mean, these guys, everybody, whether it's in comics or movies or whatever, they're very full of themselves. They don't think like, oh, this is my friend, I'm going to back my friend. You have to back your friends. Like if your friend screws you over, then F him, he's not your friend. But, you know, I have friends. I stuck by my friend in comics. People said, you can't stick by that person. I'm like, F you. Alex, if there's anyone watching who hasn't read Wokistan, go out and buy it now. It's superb. Thank you, Alex. You're so nice. Bleach Demon. Stupid YouTube. It reset me an hour behind. Shakes fist at electrons. I'm sorry to laugh at your frustration with YouTube. I certainly have it too today. Let's see. What the hell? Olivier Awards winners. I don't know what Olivier Awards. There's another award show. Oh, this is in London. Is that named after Olivier, the actor? Oh. No more award shows, please. Why Civil War is making audiences so uncomfortable. Because terrible movies make people uncomfortable, Hollywood Reporter. Reese Witherspoon questions if careers like hers are even possible again with streaming. I wouldn't cry for Reese Witherspoon. This chick made a deal in the billions with a B. She's got some stuff going on behind the scenes. Now, apparently it didn't totally go off as planned, and she only made a few $100 million. But let me tell you something. She's worth some buckets of money, And I'm going to check it right now. Reese Witherspoon net worth. And I don't know if it's got her. Yeah, see, the 15 richest celebrity women in America, $400 million. And I think that's a low number for her. $400 million. She didn't make that for movies, by the way. She made that by good investing. Don't take my financial advice, but I'd take Reese Witherspoon's financial advice if I had that kind of cash. I think she lost money. Well, she didn't lose money, but like she had this deal. It was worth like $1 billion. I can't remember. It's some production company or something. And it was at like $1 billion, but it went back down. But I don't think she lost money on the deal. Dakota Fanning says Tom Cruise has given her a birthday gift every year since War of the Worlds. Creepy. Kind of creepy, I think. Alex Ogle, that's a lot of sausage passing her lips. No, she invested it. I'm telling you, she's not messing around with investment. But Dakota Fanning, wasn't Dakota Fanning the daughter in War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise? I think she was kind of young. But maybe he's just being nice. He is super rich, I mean. Dua Lipa is set at SNL host with musical guest in May. Snore. Big snore. I don't care about SNL anymore. I mean, who cares? Dua Lipa. I mean, she's hot. Is that what we're doing now? Oh, she's hot. Oh, let's let her host Saturday Night Live. Okay. I mean, Sydney Sweeney hosted it, so maybe you could do another Hooters sketch. All right. Capcom attempts to run PR for Western localizers, praises in-house team for keeping games culturally sensitive and promoting inclusivity through language and representation, everyone. So video games are effed for now. I don't know why all these big companies, like, they haven't been run into the ground by guys just making their own video games. Just make your own based video game and, like, don't sell it to any of these morons, and I think it'll make millions. That's my advice. I can't call it financial advice, but my God, if you could make a halfway decent based game, I mean, it already sounds like they screwed up GTA 6, so. But, I mean, come on. Just make something super based. Just call it Vigilante. Have a guy running through New York, beating up thugs and criminals. I know, crazy, right? I think they used to call it Batman. Star Trek Picard actress Whoopi Goldberg points to Arizona abortion ruling as proof that Republicans want to bring back slavery, because that is a sensible statement from a person that's on television that some of my relatives watch, unfortunately. Ugh. This is the delusion. This is the kind of people who watch The View are the kind of people who are going to go see Civil War and go, oh, I just saw a very intense film called Civil War. Let me tell you something. It made a lot of statements about politics. I don't know if you're in the politics like I am, but I saw Whoopi Goldberg on The View the other day, and she said that the Republicans plan to bring back slavery. I couldn't believe it either. But that's why I watch The View, to know things. Alex Ogle, the sausage comment was about Scarlett, not Dakota. I'm battling a chat delay whilst ironing shirts. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. Superman animated series might not have happened if Bruce Timm committed to a collaboration on Freakazoid with Steven Spielberg. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is the one I wanted to talk about. It's friggin' Reacher. Reacher star Alan Ritchson baffled at religious support for Donald Trump. He's a rapist and a con man, and yet the entire Christian church seems to treat him like he's their poster child. Does this guy have even a clue of who watches his TV shows? I don't think he does, because I think he just lost a huge chunk of his audience. When this story dropped, a lot of people were saying, basically, oh, okay, not watching Reacher anymore. I mean, you already had a weak season 2. Why would you come out now with your politics? Why wouldn't you shut up at least to the end of the run of the series? Do you want to get out of your contract for some reason? Oh, you think you got a movie career because the Department of Ungentlemanly Warfare is coming out? It might flop. I mean, Henry Cavill's in it, but, you know, are you just trying to get out of your contract? I mean, you had a good show. Why wouldn't you stay? What, are they paying you in peanuts and steroids? I don't get it. You're ruining a good thing, in my view. Should have stayed right where you were, making Reacher. But, okay. Deadline. Is there anything worth talking about in Deadline? The Curse's Nathan Fielder on infusing reality into a satirical show within a show, Contenders TV. Yeah, this Curse show doesn't seem like a good show to me. Didn't seem funny. Bleach Demon. They're paying him in high messy sausage. I don't know. Like, I like Nathan Fielder's Comedy Central show a lot. I thought that was fun. But it was the one he did with Emma Stone. I guess there was some reality stuff in it, but it didn't. It seemed like too scripted to be that, so that part of it didn't work for me. At least from the clips I saw. So, I don't know. I think they're just pushing it because Emma Stone's in it. Man, there's nothing in the headlines here. Bleeding Fool. This was kind of a big story this week. J.K. Rowling can't forgive Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson for attacks. I kind of can't blame her. Because where would those two idiots be without the Harry Potter series? Would they even have careers? Would anybody know their names? I think it was a huge betrayal. I don't think they should have done that. Even if they disagreed with her, they should have just said, well, I disagree, but, you know, at least be respectful about it. Now, maybe some of this is trumped up by the media, but I don't think so. They seem to come out pretty hard to jump on the bandwagon. I think partly is again, all these people are very busy. I don't think they pay attention to the facts, but they pay attention to the narrative, and the narrative turned very dark against J.K. Rowling, so they believe that, and that's good enough for them. I think their careers are over. I really do. I mean, what kind of fan base do you have if you betray, like, what kind of fan base would, Sean Astin, who played Samwise in Lord of the Rings. If J.R.R. Tolkien was still alive and he came out and he said, you know, that J.R.R. Tolkien, what an a-hole. I don't think fans would be like, oh, Sean Astin. Oh, I'll see him in his new movie. No, I think they'd be like, F that guy. So I think that's what's going to happen to Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. They're going to be begging people to come to movies that they're just going to go, nah, you kind of screwed my childhood author, J.K. Rowling. I think the loyalty's to her, not to you. So, yeah, don't do that. Don't be like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. If you're going to disagree, that's fine, but do it respectfully. Be like, well, JK has her opinion and I respect that. I have different views. And kind of leave it at that. Alex, I don't think Rowling is unable to forgive them because of how she set them up, but because they won't walk it back. They show all the signs of being utterly ideologically captured. Yeah, I mean, maybe if they walked it back, she could sort of forgive them, but yeah, they don't. Emma Watson, especially. Oh, Emma Watson, I would 100% say ideologically captured. Daniel Radcliffe, I don't know, he's a dude. So, like, dudes are just going to say stuff like is that what I have to say? Okay, I'll say that. Oh, yeah, I hate J.K. Rowling. All right, I said it. Can I go get laid now? So, I don't know. Maybe he's caught up in it too, but after what they did to her at the reunion show, yeah, I would be like, no. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, F these people. I would never forgive them if I were her. No way. Even if they walked it back, I'd be like, well, they could go F themselves. Thanks for walking it back. Now go F yourselves. I don't, short of an outright apology, I'm utterly wrong for doing this. Yeah, I'd be like, go F yourself. Let's see. Warner Brothers hits $1 billion at overseas box office for 2024 in studio record time. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good. So that's good news for Warner Brothers. Yeah, it's only April. So first quarter, they've hit $1 billion overseas. Okay. So Warner Brothers not doing bad as everybody says. Maybe they will buy Paramount. Oh, man. There's going to be a One Punch movie? One Punch Man movie? Storbang. I didn't buy Radcliffe as Weird Al. No zaniness whatsoever in that performance. That's a shame. It kind of looked okay. I like the idea of like Al hooking up with Madonna, which I think was true, right? Did they date or something behind the scenes? If not, it's a brilliant move to put it in the bio pic. But this is news. I didn't hear this. One Punch Man movie to be rewritten by Rick and Morty. Oh, maybe I did hear this. Rick and Morty co-creator Dan Harmon and writer Heather Ann Campbell. Maybe. I mean, Dan Harmon is talented. I don't know if I could forgive him for completely abandoning Justin Roiland. I mean, I really would like to know what went on behind the scenes at Rick and Morty. I really would. I'd like to know the truth. I kind of think Roiland had bad behavior problems, but I think they ignored it so long as he kept it at a certain level. And then when he got exposed, they immediately threw him under the bus, and then it didn't stick, and he never went to jail. He never got convicted. I don't even think he got, I guess he got taken to court, or maybe there was a threat of it, and nope, he's clear as a bell. Why doesn't this guy have his show back? It seems wrong. So I'm kind of like waiting for something to break with Dan Harmon in that same area. Because I kind of feel like, well, if you would tolerate it, then perhaps you were also doing it too. But who knows? Who knows? Or did they just try to push him out because they wanted to take over Rick and Morty? I don't know. Oh, here you go. Tyler, the Creator, calls out Gerard Carmichael crush at Coachella. I look terrible. Okay. Not sure what he's doing there. And then here it is in The Wrap, the website about movies. Chris Sunnuno insists me and 51% of America support Trump no matter what in fiery exchange with George Stephanopoulos. Why is the movie Rags covering this? You shouldn't even be covering this. You just shouldn't even be covering it. Alex, as much as I want to berate others for not knowing certain cultural references, I have no interest in or knowledge of Rick and Morty. That said, it sounds like E. Jean Carroll and her unregistered firearm. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, Rick and Morty was good. It was very much an improv show. It was an improv cartoon show, and you could see a lot of the bits were very much like improv, taken it to this ridiculous extreme. And he was the voices of the characters, and you would think he would be unfireable from his own show as the main voices and as the creator and the lead writer and producer, and yet they managed to do it over something he was never convicted of, which is why you should never capitulate to these people. You should fight them tooth and nail, because they're not going to give you any. They should have immediately given him everything back. And I think he has a massive lawsuit there, but it's possible some of the things they accused him of are true, and he doesn't want that to come out in a public forum, and he's just like, I got my money, so I'm going to just bow out. It's possible he signed the wrong contract after the fact, and now he can't sue them, but I don't know. I someday maybe they'll tell us what the F happened. But I cannot watch Rick and Morty anymore. The show is ruined for me. And I'm questioning whether or not Dan Harmon is a good guy now. So, Alex, improv cartoon show reminds me of the line from The Simpsons. To paraphrase, we don't do cartoons live. It's a tremendous strain on the animators. Yes. All right, and finally, over at Cosmic Book News, new Deadpool and Wolverine promo art. CinemaCon synopsis teases fight for survival. I guess we could look at this. Where is it? Okay, so there's Rob Liefeld doing some promo art, I guess. Here's pictures. That looks like a photo there. So we are. I mean, it looks pretty good, I guess. I don't know. It could be a fun movie. Could be okay. I have high hope for the Deadpool movie that it'll be at least watchable. Peacemaker Season 2, now filming, confirms James Gunn and John Cena. I so don't care about this movie. I refuse to watch anything with John Cena. Madam Web box office reaches 100 million. It does? Hold on. How did it reach $100 million? Well, here it's only at 97. I don't know. Is it still in international theaters? Doesn't seem like it. I guess. Looks like it reached $100 million, everybody. Alex, John China more like, am I right? Yes, you are. Yeah, I just can't support him after that. It was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. They must have pulled him aside and said, hey, you want a career? You better do this if you want a movie career. He should have said no. Transformers G.I. Joe movie in the works. I mean, it would sell. It would be big. Hopefully this will be the end of these movies, because a lot of them have been pretty terrible. The G.I. Joe movies. One of the Transformers movies I like, and the rest of them, eh. So, here's a review of Civil War. Boring, dumb people doing dumb things. That sounds about on target. John Nolte had a great article on this in Breitbart. And Thunderbolts is moving forward for some reason. Captain America is going to reset the Marvel Universe. And let me see if I can find the John Nolte one. This is Breitbart. We're still on the verge of World War III, everybody, so hang on. Let's see. This was such a great article on... yeah, here it is. This is John Nolte for Breitbart. He writes some pretty good entertainment articles. Civil War Review, ridiculously dopey anti-Trump snuff film. And I won't read the whole thing again. I read it practically in Hollywoke Hot Take one day, but you know, he just tunes out. It's just so boring. He compares it to Elysium, and just talks about how it's just a fantasy of what liberals want to do to Trump, essentially. So he ruins the whole plot. So if you want to read about Civil War and not actually go see it, this is the article to read. It was pretty funny, I thought. But yeah, so I'm half tempted to go see Civil War just so I could review it, but I really don't want to give these people my money. Maybe if I could see it for free in some way, maybe when it comes out on a streaming platform I have access to. Alex, movie pitch, live action She-Ra, starring Sydney Sweeney. Garau. Plot, she holds a sword and there's lots of close-ups. I like where your head's at. Can we redesign the costume to a bikini? String bikini. Ooh, how about multiple bikinis? Like each time she uses her power, the bikini gets a little smaller and it's different. You see where I'm going with this? And I want most of the action to take place on a beach. Possibly, she's sort of like Eternia's lifeguard, and she goes running down the beach a lot to slay monsters that wash up on shore and save bathers. Occasionally losing her top in the fight. Just occasionally. Nothing too gratuitous now. And we're going to have to make it PG-13, so you're not going to really see anything, but I'd like to tease the audience a bit. So, yeah, I think we could put this into turnaround. I think this is something people would like. Also, no men. There's no men in it. Just other women being saved. Other beautiful women who are being saved. Also in bikinis. We could call it She-Ra, the magical bikini. Yeah, that's the way they would have done it back in the 80s. Yeah. That's the way they would have done it. Lots of bikini girls. You can't go wrong with bikini girls. You can't go wrong. One of my favorite mashups on YouTube is Hot Girl Fails. And most of them are on the beach, and most of it's girls in bikinis, like falling off of boats, falling with their drinks in the water, or tripping on the beach. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Better than most movies. My bikini movie is called Naked Kaboom. And it's the ultimate sort of movie you might see in Idiocracy. And the movie is basically just hours of just girls who are naked, hot girls who are naked with bazookas, and they just blow up buildings the whole movie. So there are scenes of buildings exploding and collapsing, and the girls running around naked, and that's why it's called Naked Kaboom. It's the most ultimate deconstructed based movie you'll ever see. Naked Kaboom. And possibly all the buildings are full of communists. I don't know. I think that could work. Yeah. I think we could definitely put that in the turnaround. I think we got a lot done today. A lot done today. Possibly saved the movie industry. If anybody would listen, Disney. What else did we learn? I got to wrap things up. It's already 9:30. Um, well, we learned the box office is shite, as they say in England or possibly Australia. I don't know. I've never been there. Um, absolute shite. We learn Alan Ritchson may have alienated his audience, but what's new? What's new in Hollywood but other people alienating their audience? We learn the comic book industry is in an absolute crap hole. Alex, I'll accept your adjustments, but insist that Evil Lynn is in the story and played by Amber Heard in a non-speaking role. Can we make it Amber Heard from 10 years ago? Bleach Demon. Kristen is looking rough these days. Well, I think they let her look rough in this movie. But she is getting older. I mean, she ain't no spring chicken. She's got to make that move to serious actress. Because if she ain't serious actress, it ain't going to work for her in the future. Like, what roles could she get? Yeah. So, how old is she? Let's find out. Place your bets. How old? I'm going to say 42. She was born in 1982. Nailed it. She's 42. Oh, she was born in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Look at that. Oh, she'll be 42 on April 30th, but I pretty much nailed it. She is from Point Pleasant. Well, Jersey girl. Who knew? Who knew? Bleach Demon, 45? Nope. It's technically 41. She'll be 42 this month, April 30th. Look at that. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. This is her from years ago. Oh, wow. They got like a whole montage of her career. Bleach Demon. She's only 1 year older than me. Well, I'll be. This is your chance, Bleach Demon. Your chance to date Kristen Dunst. Is she married? Let's see. Let's see if she's married. Yes, she's married. Oh, you just missed it. She's been married since 2022. So she just got married 2 years ago, and she already has 2 kids. I wonder if that's 2 kids from previous marriage. No, one. No, it only lists 1 kid's name. It says 2 children, 1 kid's name. Maybe the other kid's from a previous marriage or his marriage. I don't know. I don't know. Well, time to wrap it up on Kirsten Dunst. Bleach Demon. I'd let her buy me coffee. Ha! Well, might have to wait. Might have to wait until she gets divorced. But it's Hollywood. Could happen any day. Could happen any day. I'll try to contact you in the past next week to make sure you know when we're starting. I'm sorry about today's snafu. It was just terrible. YouTube is terrible. So final thoughts. I'm gonna shut this baby down. Thank you for tuning in. What's coming up? Thursday. What the hell am I doing Thursday? I got something Thursday and Saturday. I wrote notes on my calendar, but I can't read my own handwriting, so I have to go to here. I'll be at Juniper Village at Washington Square on Thursday. That's one of the senior living centers, so that's only for residents and their families. Saturday, I'm doing a giant outdoor farm mall. Why am I doing that? In Medford. I guess I must have signed up for it. Rain date is the 21st, so I got nothing going on Sunday unless it rains. So fingers crossed that it finally stops raining in South Jersey, because this is outside. And that's it for me next week. So light week for me. And I got to order books is what I got a bunch of stuff to do. It is quite a week. And my phone's blowing up. So much to do. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Back next week. Hopefully I will figure out what the hell's going on with the live stream. Maybe I'll go to StreamYard finally. Because, man, this is starting to piss me off, YouTube. Yeah, you heard me. I said pissed off. I might say it again. I'm pissed off. Fix your damn software, YouTube. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. We'll see you. Oops, I got the wrong controls here. Alex, good luck, Tony. I hope you have a happy and profitable week. You too. And to everyone else in the stream, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.